finally happening. You're about to get super intimate with someone that you're really excited about, and then your worst fear of all time happens. You look down and you cannot get the plane to lift off. Now you're mortified and want to run away and cry, but that makes it even worse because now you're definitely not in the mood and you're frantically trying to figure out, do I just sit here and try to get it up, or do I run for the hills? Hey everyone, it's Chammies, and if that story has happened to you, never fear. I'm here to talk about what to do when you can't get it up. The first part of this video, I'm going to talk about some reasons that you may not be able to get it up, and then what to do to remedy that situation. And then the second part, I'll be talking about what to do if you're the person who's with someone who was unable to get it up. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, so if this is pretty serious or it keeps occurring, please go talk to your doctor about it, as they can give you some more formal advice, as I did not do any scientific research. This is just based on my anecdotal experience. Please remember that any type of conversation that you have with your partner about this needs to be handled with extreme caution and care. This is a sensitive subject for everyone involved, and it usually leads to awkwardness, shame, embarrassment, fear, insecurity, doubt. So it involves deep honesty, the ability to be vulnerable, and to not shame the other person. One last note, this video is primarily focused on people with a penis not being able to perform, but some of the tips apply across the board. So before we get started, if you're new here, welcome to the channel, and if you're not new, then welcome back. I'm Chammies, and I make videos on sex, relationships, and dating, and I also make the occasional anime review here and there. Alright, let's get started. So the most common reason I see for people not being able to get it up is that they're having performance anxiety. So performance anxiety is just when you are unable to perform as well as you would like because you are really nervous or stressed about performing well. This happens in a number of different areas in our life. For example, trying to do really well on a test that you think is really important, you might actually bomb it because you're just so nervous about doing well. Maybe in soccer, I'm about to do a free kick and it's like a game-winning free kick and I miss, and now the team loses, and I was very stressed about it when normally I hit those like 9 out of 10 times. Think Messi and the time he missed for Argentina. Anyway, so it happens to the best of us and to everyone at some points in lives. And I think when we talk about sexual relationships, that can be really stressful just because of our culture here in America, where we don't really talk about it, but we just assume that everyone knows what they're doing and should do a good job and perform perfectly on the first time. And especially like the adage dress, I know there's like a bunch of patriarchal thoughts like, oh, men's manhood is like connected to how well they do in bed and how big it is, which is not true, by the way, but people think that and they have that added pressure. So it's no wonder that a lot of people with penises just freak out, are really stressed and pressured about being able to perform. Obviously that'll take away from the mood, so when you're like trying to get in the zone, you're just thinking about how you really have to do well and how you really like this person and you want to impress them and you want to like do well for your own self-confidence, and so that they can feel good and you can feel good and this can be a magical experience. And then, you know, as I said in the beginning scenario, it gets stressful because you did not perform and now you're even more stressed. Now you're just in the cycle of, okay, this does not happen today. So that is basically what performance anxiety is and why you might not be able to get up. And so what I suggest doing for that, and what I've done in the past, is I think you both should have a conversation around like, what are they nervous about? Oh, are you nervous because maybe you're self-conscious and I can see you and you want to turn off the lights, you'd feel more comfortable? Or maybe someone's nervous because they think you've been with a lot of people and they're nervous that they won't be able to live up to the standard. Well, you two could talk about that. Like, I think it's just really important to ask them like, hey, what is making you nervous? What is the root cause? And what can I do to help assure you that everything's going to be okay? I think it's also important to note that while I've seen this happen a lot during people's very first time with someone, I mean, that's just a nerve-wracking experience in of itself. You can watch some videos over here for how to prepare for your first time. It can also happen a lot to people who it's their first time with a certain someone. Like, you know, maybe I've done it a lot of times, but when I do it with someone new, I'm nervous because I'm like, hey, I don't know this person's body. I'm not like comfortable yet. It's a new experience. I want to do well, but the only way to know well is to like talk about it and do things with that person. So I will say that I have heard a bunch of people say that upon first doing it with someone, they're not able to perform, but then after a couple times they have no problem. So it was really just being nervous about it being the first time and wanting to impress, and then after talking about it and having the other partner assure them and having them know that like, hey, I'm nervous too, that really helps out. And then once you get more comfortable and being intimate with people, then you can perform better. So another reason I've seen that they have trouble getting it up and finishing is that they actually jerk it too often. So there was this guy that I knew and he would jerk it like 5 to 6 times a day, which I have no idea if that's normal or not. I don't know, like I think it's fine. from what I've heard. But the only issue here is that by the time he went to hang out with his girlfriend, he was unable to perform. So, we're like, hey, how do we figure out why that is? So found out that one time he had to go on a camping trip with his dad, and so he was not able to jerk it. And a couple days later he came back, and before he was able to jerk it alone, he actually met up with his girlfriend and he was able to perform just fine. So clearly it was probably just because he jerked it a bit too much for his personal self stamina. I mean, some people could do it like 100 times. Like I saw the Guinness World Record book. It was like, dude did it like 100 times. Like what? How? I don't know. But basically for this dude's personal, like he couldn't do more than like 5 times a day. So he had to like cut back and maybe do like 1 or 2 times a day to make sure that he could perform well for his person. And again, being able to figure out why that was, I think it was important for both parties to be honest and vulnerable. They talked about it, said, hey, what are some reasons this might be happening? And he was open to sharing, hey, I do it this many times a day, like maybe it's that, I don't know. So they did a test, hypothesis, it worked out, and now we know that that could be a reason that you may not be performing. And I totally understand some people are like, I need to do it a lot so I could practice for a person. Some people do it a lot because they're nervous and want to last long, and that's a whole nother story in video. But the point is that you're gonna have to like figure out and understand your body and how it works in tandem with someone else's body, and like what if anything you need to do to make sure that you can like perform your best in the way that you want when you meet up with your partner. So another reason that they may not be able to get it up is because they had a big change in their like emotional or physical habits or state. So for example, I knew a person who didn't really work out that much, and then all of a sudden started doing like an intense like bodybuilder workout regime, and he noticed that his libido means your sex drive, that his libido started to go down. Because when we first started hanging, he was totally cool, he was on it. But then after he started working out, we're like, wait, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? So he like looked online, and the Google said that, hey, it might be because you started working out intensely and now your libido inside has changed. So we thought it might have been that. So we tested the hypothesis, and he stopped like slowing down his workouts, and when the days like he didn't work out, he was just fine. So that was interesting. This is not scientific evidence at all by no means, but it seemed to work. Maybe it was placebo, who knows? But just putting it out there, all the options that y'all could try. And then in terms of like emotional state, I knew this dude and he was performing fine, and then he was actually planning on moving, maybe getting a new job. So a lot of stuff was happening in his life, and obviously that's pretty stressful. So sometimes people think, oh well, I should just do it so I can release stress. But sometimes it's a little hard to do it when your brain is preoccupied thinking about all of these like emotional other things going on in your life, and when you have a big like high or low like intense emotional state change, you just may not be in the best zone to get it up. So if you do think it's because of either an emotional state change or a physical state change habit, then I would say wait, like give it a couple weeks so that their body can adjust to the physical state change. Like, okay, they're working out every day, let's give your body a chance to adjust and see if that helps at all. And then also for the emotional state, wait a little bit, see if like when they come back down to homeostasis, if that helps at all. Hopefully those two things help, but those are some other reasons that I've seen that potentially they may not be able to get it up. Another reason that someone may not be able to get it up is because they recently started taking steroids or some other drug where the side effect maybe has trouble performing sexually. So for this, obviously you would think about when you started a pill and then see if that kind of coincided with you not being able to perform. If that's the case, definitely talk to your doctor and see what's up. Like, is there a different pill you could take? Is there something you could do to counteract that? Maybe wait a little bit to see if your body adjusts to the pill. Maybe then they'll be able to perform. Because like for me, when I started taking birth control pills, like one side effect was eating a lot and just never feeling full. But that lasted like 3 months, and then I went back to normal. So that might happen for the person. So we wait it out a bit and see for sure if this is a long lasting thing. But if it is long lasting, then yeah, definitely talk to your doctor to see if maybe there's a different pill you could take or something else. This could happen with any pill, but my personal experience is with, I had someone who had done steroids, and so that definitely affected their libido being able to get it up. So that's something that you might want to ask them about. But it was interesting because the guy told me like, hey, FYI, I'm going to take steroids soon, so you will probably notice that my libido might go down, so I'm gonna figure out what to do about that. So I did really appreciate they communicated with me and let me know like what was happening so that I didn't like take things too personally. On note of pills, another reason could just be like it's literally just a physical thing. Some people do just have a physical issue where they can't get it up, so that's why there's Viagra, which is a common pill taken when you can't get it up. It helps you get it up. It also helps you last longer. I will say I don't know a lot about Viagra. I'm definitely not an expert. I've not like researched it in depth, but someone I know did use it, the person that was doing steroids, to oppose the effects of steroids, and I guess it worked fine. I can't really say, as I don't know when he used it or how often he used it. We weren't super scientific about that, and I kind of wish I did some science experience, but anyway, it's fine. The point is that it might just be like a physical thing. Like maybe there's actually nothing like in your mind or anything you could do. It's just like, hey, oh, this is the body thing I have, let me get some pills for it, no problem. And no shame. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's embarrassing, you take Viagra. Or you might be like, oh, I'm not a full man if I take Viagra. Like, it's literally fine. Like, men get help when they need it, so definitely talk to your doctor and ask if you want to try that. So the last reason I'll say that I've encountered why someone was not able to get it up is they just realized but didn't know at the time that they need an emotional connection. Like, they don't like one night stands or like doing someone they don't know that well, hence why they're not able to get it up. So I had a guy who I was chatting to. We're like in a situationship and times. Basically, like, we realized that he wouldn't be able to get it up unless we had talked for like an hour or two beforehand. So it's funny because we'd be in the cycle of like, you come over, we chat, we try to do it, but I guess we didn't chat enough because he was still like nervous. And then we would chat for an hour about him being nervous, and then about like, hey, just random things to get more comfortable in the mood, in the zone. And then he'd be able to perform like that. Just think about that. If you're unable to get it up, or your partner's gonna ask them like, hey, do you think maybe you need an emotional connection and you really want to talk to someone and feel super comfortable with them before you do it, which there is nothing wrong with that. It's just good to know, you know, it's a learning experience for both parties. Like, sometimes they might not even know they need that, so you're both learning together and being like, oh, okay, like, cool, no problem, got it. So that's something that maybe another reason you could explore as to why they aren't able to get it up. Up until this point, I'm mainly talking about all the reasons pertaining to themselves that they're unable to get it up, and now I want to flip that and talk about the person who is with the person who can get it up. So you're the other party in the room who is affected, and it can be a really stressful experience. Like, I know for me, I genuinely think about things like, oh my gosh, am I not attractive? Did I do something that turned them off? Do I suck at the foreplay? I don't know. So it's common to have all these like insecurities and thoughts when that happens, and I would say the best advice that I found is to just be open and honest and just ask them. Like, I know you might be thinking, oh, these are dumb questions, like, that's stupid to ask that, that's embarrassing, but I think it's better to just get it off your chest. Like, hopefully, you know, they're a very patient, calm, cool person, and one, it might help because they'll be like, okay, they're nervous too, like, let's work through this together. And also they can clarify things like, hey, it's totally not you. Like, I mean, I doubt it's you, hence why none of the reasons I listed were they just don't like you, because I feel like, you know, if you're about to get intimate with someone, chances are they think you're extremely attractive, so that be not the issue. So do not take it personal, even though I know it's extremely hard, but definitely, yes, ask the questions you want to ask so that they're not lingering in your head and then making you unable to perform, and they're just going to be in the back of your mind forever if you don't just ask and get that assurance that you need. So I think for like the people who are with the people who can't get up, it's important to just be really non-judgmental. You know, this is a very sensitive topic. Just being very open and not judgy or like annoyed or mad at them. It's, you know, it's probably not their fault. They did not plan for that to happen either. It's good to also stay positive. So I mean, I totally understand being disappointed. Like, I've been there, like, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you couldn't get it up, that's so annoying, like, whatever, like, leave my site. Like, no, might be like, oh, hey, like, yeah, that kind of sucks, I was really looking forward to hanging out with you, but, you know, let's try again and let's see what we can do. Like, you know, this happens to everyone. Let's think of a game plan. Let's go over some of the reasons it could be. Let's talk it out, like, so that we can do it next time. So growth mindset, like, let's both grow from this experience, because again, it's very common. It is not just a y'all thing, like, it happens to a lot of people. I don't talk about a lot because obviously it can be kind of embarrassing to talk about. Thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you find it helpful and want to see more videos like this one on sex and relationships. Bye.